Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. And in this series we're going to be going over Neptune in the houses, okay? Neptune in the houses, and in this episode we're going to be talking about the 7th house, all right? So having Neptune in your 7th house. And before we get into that, I just got to remind you guys to check out my new single, Can't Take the Throne. If you enjoyed the little snippet of music in the beginning of this video, that is my new single. All you got to do is type my name, Sam Dolphin, or Can't Take the Throne, and it'll definitely pop up. So definitely check that out. Also, follow me on TikTok, okay, at Sam_Dolphin. You can follow me there. And book a reading with me, you certainly can. I do astro readings with tarot included. All you got to do is email me at samastroreadings@gmail.com, and we could definitely go forward with that, all right? So, getting back to Neptune in the 7th house, Neptune in the 7th house. And the first thing I can say about Neptune in the 7th house is that this manifests a placement where you have lots of caring, compassionate relationships, okay? Neptune is the planet of compassion, emotional care for everyone, okay? There's like no discrimination, you know, you just care for everyone, being intuitive, feeling other people's feelings. So it's a very compassionate energy. Neptune cares for everyone. It dissolves with everyone. It feels everyone's energy. You know, it's very, very relatable in that sense, and it unites everyone. So when you have this in the planet of your relationships, okay, this manifests very compassionate relationships. You know, you can attract people who are very caring, okay, very, you know, intuitive. You know, they feel your emotions, they feel what you're feeling, okay? The relation dynamic could be based off of being very compassionate to one of each other, caring for each other's emotions and feelings, being in tune with each other emotionally. So Neptune in the 7th house, this definitely manifests very compassionate, caring relationships, whether it's coming from you being the person very compassionate and caring, or the other person, or just your relationship dynamic in general, okay? There's great abilities to heal people in relationships with this placement, and to have healing in your relationships with this placement. So definitely a big manifestation with Neptune in the 7th house. Also with Neptune in the 7th house, this also manifests you being open to many relationships, okay, and many people. Very caring, compassionate people when you talk about Neptune, the 7th house, because 7th house is relationships, and when you have Neptune here, Neptune's open to everyone. So these people can get along with so many people. They're easy to get along with. They care for many people. They're not discriminative, okay? These are not people who discriminate, okay, because you're different. They're not comfortable around you, or, you know, they're open, they accept everyone. So I like to say Neptune 7th house, it makes for a very loving person, a person who is open to all people, who doesn't want to discriminate against people, who wants balance and union with everyone. And it's so easy for them to have balance and union with so many people because they're so emotional, they're so compassionate, they feel for other people, they understand people's feelings, they understand the underdog, they understand people even if they're very different from them, because Neptune makes you very open to everyone's energies. So it's almost like there's no such thing as someone being unrelatable when it comes to Neptune. Neptune's all about everyone's together. So very open. There's a huge openness with Neptune 7th house people. They're open to lots of people. They don't like to discriminate. They like to care for all people. And it makes them very open. Makes them very open, welcoming, pleasing, caring, nice, okay? Speaking of that, Neptune in 7th house can even manifest a relationship where you're a caretaker. You know, maybe the person's disabled, you know, and you care for them so much, you know, you get into a relationship with them and you also take care of them, you know, which takes a lot of, you have to be very empathetic and empathetic for someone in order to do that. You know, some people don't want to take on that type of responsibility, but with a Neptune 7th house person, them being so compassionate and caring and in tune, they feel for people strongly and they want to take care of people. Okay, so Definitely very caring, compassionate relationships, okay? And definitely very open to so many people. Like, you know, this person is not gonna be discriminative. This person's not gonna discriminate, okay? This person's not gonna act like they're too bougie for you or you're too different for them. This person's open to all people, okay? And with that being said, this can also manifest people taking advantage of you in relationships, okay? Because you're so caring, because you're so compassionate, because you feel people so easily, and sometimes you feel their wounds more than they feel it themselves. People can take advantage of that and use you. So in relationships, because you're such a caring, compassionate person, people can use you for your energy, use you for whatever, take advantage of your niceness, take advantage of your compassion, take advantage of the fact that you feel for them, and use you for that reason, for any other reason, and it could drain your energy. So with Neptune in the 7th house, you have to be careful, because as open as you are with relationships, you also have no blockages, you have no boundaries, okay? Neptune is the planet of no boundaries, and 7th house is relationships, so you got no boundaries in your relationships, okay? So, you know, you're manifesting a lot of people to come to you and use you, because you have no boundaries, okay? And people can emotionally drain you with this placement, take advantage of you with this placement. So definitely be mindful of that. Be mindful that, yes, your caring compassion is such a strong energy of healing, and it's so good, but at the same time, this could make people take advantage of your goodness, of your kindness, of your compassion, and in return emotionally drain you. Okay, because it gets very draining when everyone you're connecting with is literally using you, is betraying you, is taking advantage of you. It gets very draining quickly. So definitely be aware of that, okay? Neptune 7th house people, of your lack of boundaries within relationships. Also with Neptune in the 7th house, this could be a placement where you attract a lot of artists, creatives. Maybe you're a creative person yourself. Maybe you collaborate with a lot of other creatives. Whatever it is, you can attract partners who are artists, who are doing something in the arts. Your relationship can be that, okay? Maybe you're an artist as well too, and you connect with another artist and you guys collaborate with each other artistically and romantically. But there's a lot of creative collaboration here with Neptune in the 7th house, and you could definitely attract the artist. That could be, you know, a lot of times when you're dating, you're like, damn, another artist? Like, that's because your Neptune's in your 7th house, so you're attracting artists, okay? And 7th house is what we attract. So definitely a point with Neptune in 7th house. Even if it's not a romantic relationship, just to collab with someone. Maybe you're a producer and the other person's a singer. Or maybe you're a photographer and the other person's a model. Whatever it is, you know, maybe you're a writer and the other person's an actor. It's a great way to collaborate artistically. Also, with Neptune in the 7th house, you can be very beautiful and artistic yourself, okay? When it comes to Neptune, Neptune is obviously the planet of creativity, strong imagination, artistic skills are high here. When you put in the 7th house is all about balance, okay? So it's not just about symmetry, it's not just about relationships between people, but it's about balance in all the sense, okay? Balance in the sense of symmetry, balance in the sense of logic. So when you mix that with Neptune, which is very artistic and creative, your artistic expression can be very beautiful because it's so symmetrical, it's so balanced, okay? This is the approach you put into your art, okay? The 7th house is very much about perfection and balancing things, and it deals with symmetry. That's why you talk about beauty when you talk about the 7th house in Libra, okay? Because a lot of what makes us beautiful is having symmetric features, things being balanced. So when it comes to your artistic and creative expression, which is Neptune, you express this in a very beautiful, balanced way because you're so symmetrical. So say if you're like a painter, a drawer, a sculptor, you know, you are a really good painter, a very sculptor, a great artist or drawer or whatever, because you're so symmetrical with it. You know how to balance, you know, the features to make it look real, to make it look perfect, to make it look nice. Like, That's how you bring things to life. Even with music, you know, when you talk about music as an art, which is Neptune, but then you talk about the 7th house, which is balancing in relationships. You can talk about, you know, harmonies, you know, putting notes together, okay? The balance in the relationship between notes. Like, basically what I'm saying is, with Neptune in the 7th house, you add beauty and symmetry and balance to your artistic expression, which just makes your art so much more beautiful, okay? And this can not only be shown in your artistic skills, but even the way you dress and present yourself. You know, 7th house is a very social house. You know, this is where we date, make relationships and stuff like that. So we like to present ourselves well. In the best way, and definitely in a very symmetrical way. This is why Libras can dress well. You know, they're very nice when it comes to that. But you put Neptune here, which is very creative and artistic, you're expressing these art in that creativity in a very balanced, beautiful way. So like, even the way you dress, like, you dress very nicely, you look very beautiful, your fashion is put together very nicely. You know, it has a nice theme, it's creative, but it's also nice and balanced, and it's perfect, and it's the right outfit for the right era, for the right time. Like, very beautiful when it comes to your artistic expression. So definitely be mindful of that Neptune 7th house, that you guys are mixing creativity and beauty and balance. So definitely a beautiful point to point out. Also, with Neptune in the 7th house, there could be drug addictions in relationships, okay? Maybe you guys become a relationship because of drugs, okay? Neptune being drugs, substance abuse. Maybe that's what you guys come together, connect to, you know? So there definitely could be addictions within the relationships, you know, a druggy relationship. Or if it's not even about substance abuse, the person that you're with can be an addiction, okay? So, you know, Neptune is such a compassionate, emotional energy. You put this in the 7th house, you could be so attached to your partners, almost like an addiction, okay? Like they're an escape. Your relationships can be a form of escape, something you're addicted to in that sense, and you could be addicted to your partner, you know, with Neptune in the 7th house, or your partner could be addicted to you, okay? Using your relationship as some sort of drug or escape, okay? You know, so that could be a big manifestation with Neptune 7th house. Also, again, like I said, you know, you guys could just do drugs together. Maybe you guys bond through that. That's how the relationship started. So definitely be mindful of that, because the addictions could be strong here, because you're taking addiction and you're associating it with relationships, which causes a strong attachment, which makes the addiction that much more stronger, okay? Because, you know, now you're talking about, you know, relationship and addiction, okay? That just confirms the addiction even more, because now you have an attachment to that person. So definitely be careful with that. You know, the addictions can be strong here, whether it be your partner, whether it be substances that you guys do together. Definitely something to be very mindful of. Also, with Neptune in the 7th house, you could be the help in the relationship, like always being the person to serve and help your person. Like you're a person who wants to fix someone or emotionally help someone or be someone's pretty much therapist in a relationship, okay? And it could be nice in that sense, but it can also be emotionally draining, being at such emotional service to another person. Again, that can cause attachment and addiction issues, because you're the help and you're the person who pretty much is their therapist in this relationship. Now that person needs you, okay? They're not feeling well unless they're with you, emotionally helping them, okay? Bottom line is, you could be of strong service emotionally in relationships, and that can cause an unhealthy attachment to someone, because we're all responsible for ourselves. And if you are the only person in the relationship healing the person constantly and being the one to service them, it's off balance. You're going to be drained, okay? And this is what I'm talking about people taking advantage of you, okay? So because you're an emotional healer in relationships, people use that and get addicted to you and you're pretty much there being their unofficial psychologist or therapist, and it's draining to you. So be careful with being the help or being so much of service that you're emotionally drained, because this is part of Neptune, the seventh house, being taken advantage of, being emotionally drained in relationships. All right. Also, with Neptune in the seventh house, understand that Neptune is all about fantasy and imagination, and you can have this approach with your relationships, making you blindsided, okay, believing in the fantasy, being very delusional in relationships. You know, you have to be aware of this and not fall for the BS in relationships, okay? Not fall for all the emotions and fall for the delusions, okay? Like you go on a date, or you know, and you're in your feelings about this person, and you get so into it that you think it's something that it isn't, okay? There could be lots of delusions in this relationship, like being in a relationship with someone and they promise, you know, this is a funny example, but being in a relationship with an artist and, you know, they promise that they're gonna be the richest person in the world, and then, you know, you're at like your 10 years with them and they still haven't become, you know, that superstar that they promised you that they would be as artists, like stuff like that, you know, just people selling you a dream, you know, because that's Neptune. Neptune's a dream. And people can sell you that in relationships and you fall for it, you know, not being conscious and aware that this is just a dream, you know. So be careful, because with Neptune in the seventh house, you could be addicted to relationships in this sense and fall for people's BS, okay, and fall for the dream, fall for all the glamour that they're selling you, and then you come to realize that they're not trying to do any of this. They're not trying to partner with you. They're not really going to be what they say they're going to be. The relationship's really not going where you think it's going. You know, so you can be very delusional and have your time wasted on people who aren't being real with you, just selling you a fantasy. You know, you could be selling yourself a fantasy, thinking the relationship is something that it's not, but you just want to be so much in your fantasy and dreams about this person. You imagine them to be something else that they're not, or you imagine the relationship to be something else that they're not, and you're wasting your time and energy. So definitely be careful of that, because you could be very delusional and a little thirsty in relationships, all right? But yes, that is Neptune in the seventh house, okay? Very caring, compassionate people. Be careful, because you could be taken advantage of easily, okay, with that, all right? And be careful with the addictions and the illusions in relationships. But very beautiful people, okay? Very creative, beautifully presented people, caring, compassionate. It's hard to not like these people, okay? But it could be hard. It could be easy for someone to take advantage of them too. So that's Neptune in the seventh house. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And if you did, you can book a reading with me, okay, at samastroreadings@gmail.com. All you gotta do is email me and we could go forward with that. Also, check out my music videos. All the links will be in the description box below. And I'll check you guys out on the next video.